everyone, and welcome to BizTalk, Small Business Big Talk. I'm Pamela Young-Jacobs, Director of the Small Business Center here at Southeastern Community College. And today, our very special guest is Mr. Jamie Fettig of VelocePlanes.
Thanks for having me here.
Thank you for being here with us today, Jamie. I think we're going to start off today just by having you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I grew up in a small town in North Dakota, and I spend a lot of my summers on farms helping out, doing farm work and doing all that stuff. I became a holistic doctor, and I did that for 8 years, and I helped a lot of people, but I got tired of people not wanting to change their lives to be healthy. Yeah. And I traveled a lot, and so then at that point I said, you know what? I'm going to make an airplane that no one else makes that I want. Some other people must want it.
Wow.
And so that's kind of my brief story of how I got here.
And you ended up in Columbus County.
Ended up in Columbus County. Why? Because there's no snow.
There's no snow.
That's why. No, that's a small part of it. But the biggest reason why was honestly a little bit of happenstance, and when I learned about Columbus County, because I had an employee who has been working remotely for the last 8 years in my other business that I sold a couple of years ago. Yeah. And she said, oh, you should check it out. Like, you know, the labor market's really good here. They have a lot of good people, but they don't have a lot of quality jobs. They're closing down large manufacturing businesses. The rents are not expensive. And, you know, the weather's pretty decent all year round. And I was like, that sounds like a good idea, sure. And I, started hiring a few people in a smaller location, and they were working out, and I got some more employees, and then I decided, hey, let's expand the business.
Yeah. Well, I remember the day that I came by to see you, and we're in the Hill Shopping Plaza, and it just looks like just a regular, like a furniture business or something like that outside, but when you walk in, you had a true hangar. And I was really blown away, and I was like, oh my gosh, these airplanes in here are amazing. And so what kind of reaction do you get from others?
Here's the most common thing. People go, you build airplanes in Whiteville? And I'm like, yep, I build airplanes in Whiteville. And everyone always asks them, well, what size airplanes are they? They're like 2, 4, 6-person airplanes. So they're not big, but just for, and who's your most common customer? And the people, mostly it's doctors, lawyers, private professionals who travel a lot, or small business people who travel and they want to, use their own plane because they're tired of going to the airports and security and stuff like that. So
Right. Well, I know that just walking in and seeing the whole setup and how you had transformed that place.
Yeah.
And to be clear, so that our folks that are listening know, we're talking about Whiteville, North Carolina.
Yes, Whiteville, North Carolina.
Whiteville,
somewhere
North
else, right?
I don't know if there's another Whiteville somewhere, but there could be. So we're talking about Whiteville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
So kind of take us through, once you were here, you found a place to rent, and then you started working on your planes. What kind of vision did you have going into this?
Yeah, so there's two answers to that question. So the first one was, like, I came in and I was just gonna pay money and hire people and make the things grow. And like, the community actually reached out to me. They were like, hey, we might be able to help you, get money to build a hangar. Hey, we might be able to help you get money to hire some employees, through Southeastern Community College. And, hey, we might have internship programs from, Southeastern Community College. And so, like, all these different people from the community actually started reaching out saying, hey, we can help you grow your business. And I was like, bonus,
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't counting on that or looking for that, but that's actually available here. And they have really strong programs and people and everything. So that was really nice. And my vision when I came in here was to grow in the community, probably have about 20, 25 people working for me on a long-term basis and just making these airplanes. So right now I'm kind of more in the startup mode where I'm starting to build the first prototype, and I've, got most of the parts made, and we're starting to assemble some of them. And, and so we're doing things like that. But when that gets rolling, when that first plane starts flying here later this year, the goal is that we're just going to make lots and lots of those planes. So we'll need more space, more people, all that other stuff to actually grow. And my goal is to become one of the largest twin manufactured of airplanes on the planet. And I really think I can do that because I'm just following the model that the largest single engine airplane manufacturer on the planet did 30 years ago.
Right. And I can say to you that we are so excited at Southeastern, from the Small Business Center to NC Works and all of our departments that have worked with you, because it is really exciting. It is very exciting to have you in Columbus County to be able to provide jobs for individuals that are here, and to also provide skills. They can get some on-the-job training, and so
you guys, not sorry to interrupt, but you guys have paid for people to come in and help me do trainings for the people in the community to learn skills in my employees, and everybody wins.
Yeah, everybody wins. You're adding to the tax base. It makes our economy stronger here in the county, and that's what we all are working toward. Is to build a stronger economy, to build a stronger small business community, so that individuals like yourself will be successful. And so we are excited to have you here. I'm excited to one day buy that little prop plane. What was the plane that we looked at that day? I told you that my dad wanted.
Yeah, the little KISS TR1.
Yeah. So that's the future goal of mine as an individual, is to be able to purchase that plane from you and be able to fly in it and land it. But it's such a beautiful story that you have, and how you ended up here, and how just even though it seemed like a story of a little happenstance, you ended up here, and then it has been such a beautiful journey for you, for the college, for the individuals, everybody that your business has come in contact with, everybody that your business touches. So tell me a little bit about what all you do in there. I know that when I was there with you that day, you were building the engines in one part and doing other stuff.
So we got a bunch of different things that we're doing in there. The biggest thing is that the 6-person pressurized twin airplane, like that's eventually the whole company is going to phase into that. That's what we're phasing into. So that's going to be building the 2 engines that we put on the airplane. That's going to be building all the composite parts that we use to assemble it into the airplane. That's going to be making the metal parts that we need for all the flight controls and everything. And so right now we're doing a little bit of all of that on some other planes to kind of like help out and learn and grow and get what we need, income, stuff like that to get it going. But eventually it's going to all shift into those 3 departments, like building all the controls, building all the composite parts, and building the engines that actually go into the airplanes.
Yeah. And then you have some test flights after all of that's finished, and you put the plane together, and then somebody tests it, right?
Yep, we're going to have a local, I don't have a local person yet, but we're looking for a test pilot, hoping to find someone local to actually come out and actually do the procedure that the FAA needs. So every time you make an airplane that's called experimental, that's what we do, is we make experimental ones. And so every single time you have to have someone from the FAA come, and then they inspect it, and then you have the test pilot come out, and they have to do certain procedures when they're, first you do, just drive around on the ground, and then you just fly like a little bit above the runway and land back down again. And so you're doing all this stuff to build up to actually get this plane to fly, because it is experimental, and each plane is a little bit unique. It's not like a certified plane from, a company like Cessna or Piper or Cirrus or somebody who they make every single plane exactly the same every single time, and that's why they're certified.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to offer advice to individuals who were thinking about going into business, who wanted to start a business, what would you say?
I tell everybody the same advice every single time about running a business, is that there is, at first a scary statistic, 95% of all businesses will fail within 5 years. And there's one reason, and one reason only, why they fail. It's because the business owners don't know how to market and advertise. That is the absolute key. So, you can start a car mechanic shop. You can start a hair salon. You can start a plumbing shop. You can start, any business, anything you went to school, a welding shop, anything you went to school to learn how to do a physical skill, a house painting job, anything you learned, you can start a business doing that, and you can be the best at doing that. Right? But if you don't know how to market and advertise, you're going to fail. And that's the bottom line with all small business. And you have to know how to market and advertise. Like for example, for me, when I was first graduated from college and went to become a holistic chiropractor, no, not to toot my own horn, but I did really well at helping people heal and become well. Really, really well. But after about 9 months, I still almost had to file bankruptcy. And what I learned very, very quickly was it's because I need to learn how to market and advertise. And I became a student, and I studied, and I read books, and I went to seminars, and I learned from other people, and I learned, I did my first online advertising course in 2001, right? So that's how long I've been doing online advertising. So it's just, in today's world, you just have to learn how to do that marketing and advertising. And if you can get customers to come in and give you money because you can market and advertise, you can run any small business, whether or not you know the skill. And that's what most people don't tell you. That's what most people don't understand, is that it's not about learning the skill to have that business. It's you got to learn how to market and advertise in order to run the business to get new customers so you can do the skill.
Right. Because you have to have that exposure. Because like you say, you may have a skill and it may be the thing that you love to do. But if people don't know that you do it, if people don't know that you're there, then how would they, patronize your business, because they don't know you're there?
Yep, exactly. And that's what most people don't understand when they get into small business. They think, oh, I'm really good at this, so I can have my own company doing this, and you can, but how do you get the new customers so that they know you are really good at it?
That's right. That's right. That's good advice. Good advice. So what do your friends back home say when you tell them you're here in Whiteville?
I'm kind of odd and different, and I've always done, what do they call, march to my own beat.
Yeah.
And so most of them don't even bat an eye when they find out what I'm doing. They're just like, oh, that's what you do now. Okay. Another thing Jamie's doing, I've had a few different businesses throughout my lifetime. Sold a number of them as well in the past, successful exits from them, and just move on to the next thing that I like doing and I enjoy doing. And so, my story behind this airplane company, it's so simple, but yet no one's done it. It's so weird, right? So the number one largest airplane company in the world, general aviation, single airplane, it's called Cirrus. They sell more airplanes than everyone else on the planet for that type of airplane, right? And what happened was they did one thing and one thing only different 30 years ago, is they made a composite airplane with a parachute. Yeah. That was it. So the whole parachute literally brings the whole plane down, and all its occupants, if something happens, the whole plane comes down under a parachute. Right. And it's composite, so it's super safe, and it's lighter than every other metal airplane that was made up until that point 30 years ago. And so since the airplane is lighter, the engine that they use in every other airplane that's metal makes it go faster because it doesn't have to lift as much weight against gravity. Right. And that's how they literally became the number one airplane company in the world. Those two things. And there's other things, and they had market and advertising, right? But that was their big thing. That was their little niche. Well, it's 30 years later. Tell me one composite twin airplane that I can go out there and buy, like a small, 6-8 person twin airplane with two engines. Tell me one that I can buy that's composite and not metal. You can't really.
Right.
Right? And so nobody, after 30 years of looking at Cirrus, have all the success, went, maybe we should make a composite twin airplane.
Right.
Literally no one's done that.
Yeah.
And so I am the first company that I know of that's making a composite twin pressurized airplane with a parachute.
Right. That is amazing.
That's it. I'm just doing what they did, but with a twin.
Yeah. And one of the key things in starting a business that I like to tell folks is that you identify the need, and if you have the ability to meet that need.
And I'm going to slightly change that. I tell people something similar. I always say, sell what people want.
Right.
And if it also happens to be what they need, bonus.
Yeah.
But make sure they want it.
Right.
Because when you sell what people want, that's the easiest way to make money in this world.
Yeah.
And you go into a poor person's home, and they barely have any food on the table, but what do they all have in their living room? A large screen TV.
They do.
People buy what they want.
What they want, that is true.
Not necessarily what they need.
That's true.
So sell what people want, and if it's also what they need, bonus for you.
That is a bonus, And you have done a really good job at doing that.
Yeah, finding a niche.
And identifying this niche that people could afford, that can't afford these ones over here that are way too expensive.
Yeah, I didn't mention that, but what you're referring to, is they make, so right now, if you want to buy the similar type plane as mine, you have to spend $3 million for a new one, or you have to spend close to $1 million and have a 30-year-old one. Right. And so mine will be the first plane that comes in around $1 million, so it's literally 1/3 the price, but still gives people all the options, bells and whistles that a $3 million plane gives them.
Right. And purchasing a plane is definitely what somebody wants and not what they necessarily need.
It is for sure.
But it's true.
Wealthy people who want to travel from point A to point B quickly, they have money to buy a plane, so I'm selling them what they want.
That's right. All right. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with today?
Actually, just 2 seconds ago, I was thinking, my other piece of advice that I tell a lot of people when they're going in to start their own business is that you is that it's going to take hard work.
Yes, it will.
You know, so many people think that, oh, you know, I'm Instagram famous or I'm YouTube famous. And there are some people who do that. You know, some people are just lucky, prepared, meet opportunity. But for most people, you know, you have to put in the work. You have to be willing to do what other people are not willing to do, because that's why they're not in business for themselves.
That's right.
And so don't think that you can, you know, now once the business gets going, once you start having some employees, once you start training them, kind of procedure manuals and all those things like that, sure. You know, towards the end of my last 2 businesses that I sold, I was working 10, 15 hours a week, showing up whenever I wanted, leaving whenever I wanted. You know, I didn't have to be there all the time. But like right now in the beginning,
you have to put in the work.
I'm there 60, 70 hours a week getting the business going. Now, once it's running, I'm not going to have to put in all those hours, but you have to do that. Now, there are exceptions, like I said, but don't try and be one of those exceptions. You're going to struggle. If you put in the work, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just upfront knowing you're going to put in the work, sell what people want, sell also with what they need, right? And also the best way is sell them money. That would be another show maybe, right?
Yeah.
But I'll teach you, you know, that's what I used to, that's what I've done in all my businesses. I sell people money. And if you can do that, oh my gosh, like quick example since I brought it up, is that selling people money mean that I'm saving people money by selling them this airplane, because now they can spend their time doing what makes them money in their businesses, not showing up 2 hours before at the airport to go through security, not having to wait around for an hour for their bag after, right? So, and that's part of my sales angle, but selling people what they want, selling people money, and if it's also what they need, bonus, you know, and doing the advertising and marketing.
Yeah, because time is money.
It is.
Time is definitely money.
It really is, yep.
I really appreciate all of your comments. I'll have to, I may have to hire you part-time in Small Business Center. But we really appreciate you being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
We thank everyone for being here with us. Join us on Southeastern Community College's YouTube and Educable to see another episode of BizTalks. Thank you for joining us today.